welcome to this special edition here on I-24 News. I'm Batty Leventhal. Thanks for joining me at this hour. It is day 95 of war, and these are Tuesday's main headlines here in Israel. Starting with the south, the IDF says that it is further expanding ground operations in Khan Yunis, fighting Hamas deep within the southern Gazan city. Israeli forces have also located a wide range of weapons and significant tunnel shafts in the area. 9 more Israeli soldiers have been killed in combat, bringing the total number of fallen troops now to 185. On the northern front, air raid sirens went off relentlessly this morning throughout communities near the border with Lebanon, warning of hostile aircraft invasions. And all this as senior Israeli officials have been meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who arrived in Israel on Monday as the Biden administration becomes increasingly more apprehensive over the fighting in Gaza and on Israel's northern border. Well, let's go now live to I-24 News correspondent Pierre Clochendler, who is standing by for us on the Israel-Gaza border. Pierre, first and foremost, it's almost been non-stop this morning and into the afternoon in terms of the red alert sirens going off in the north of the country. What's the latest happening in the south of the country?
Well, the last time that there was a rocket salvo, and there was a rocket salvo of 14 rockets over Sderot yesterday at 9:15 p.m. That's the last time. There were no damage nor injuries. And so now it's almost 20 hours or 18 hours that there hasn't been any rocket fire. That doesn't mean there can't be. Hamas still has the capacity to launch rockets, especially from the southern part of the Gaza Strip, where the fighting is intensifying.
And Pierre, there is buzzing going on above your head indicating that operations are still well underway, but the IDF confirming in the last few days that the level of intensity in terms of their ground operation is now going to slowly be coming down. Have we seen any evidence of that on the ground with troops coming out of the Gaza Strip?
Yes, of course. We've seen 3 reserve brigades that have been demobilized and 2 additional conscript brigades that have returned to Israel to go on with their training. So that's the numbers we have. It's possible, very possible, that there are additional brigades of reservists, basically, that constitute the bulk of the army that have been demobilized in order not to inflict too much of a weight on the Israeli economy. But we are here at the northern tip of the Gaza Strip, just at the border, and clearly you can sense that the fighting has gone away a bit from the northern sector, where the war has shifted to some sort of low-intensity warfare at brigade level and not anymore at division level. The army is on the northern sector operating on the basis of intelligence, conducting raids on the targets that the intelligence provides. And of course, there are still isolated cells of Hamas that can pop up of a tunnel shaft and clash with the Israeli army forces, so they're still in high alert. You can hear maybe the buzz of the surveillance drone, but we haven't heard here any artillery fire for the past 2 hours, which means that really it's slowing down and it's cutting down its forces. But given that, it's an hybrid war, in the sense that if there is low-intensity warfare in the northern sector of the Gaza Strip, including Gaza City, where 12 battalions have been decimated, 12 battalions of Hamas, in the central and southern sector of the Gaza Strip, Hamas is still facing a very high-intensity warfare, with scores of terrorists being killed over the past 24 hours.
Correspondent Pierre Clochendler giving us the latest updates from the Israel-Gaza border this afternoon. Thank you very much for that. As we mentioned, while the fighting may be slowing down its intensity, at least in the northern part, it is picking up in the central and southern parts. And one of the issues that the IDF is also dealing with is the underground network. The tunnels in Gaza serve for practically every single terror purpose. A tunnel system used as a massive weapons depot was uncovered by the IDF. Taking care of all those tunnels also takes time, and it comes with a heavy loss of life. I-24 News senior defense correspondent Jonathan Regev has more details.
months into the war and Hamas is still able to fire rockets even in central Israel, such as these ones fired on Monday evening. How can it do it? The answer can be found right here.
We now entered into an industry factory that created the rockets, the long-range rockets. These are the 100 kilometers rockets that were being built here and then being tunneled down with elevators to a big tunnel that is designed especially for those cages of rockets.
The IDF unveiled the largest weapon production site in Gaza, with underground workshops meant to produce long-range missiles able to reach as far as northern Israel. It's a very big compound located in the El Burej refugee camp in the central Gaza Strip. Various kinds of ammunition were produced here and then transported to other parts of the strip through the tunnel network underneath.
The size of the tunnel, this is the height of a person, easy to go in, relatively safe, and from here straight into the factory. And this is only one of the entrances.
As usual, these terror sites are located in civilian areas, posing another issue for the IDF.
This is the big challenge here. How to destroy the military framework, like we're seeing here, that cannot make rockets, hide them underneath tunnels, then provide them outside, and at the same time to minimize the damage for the civilians' factories all around here.
The only way to take care of these places is through boots on the ground, and that comes with a very heavy price. 9 Israeli soldiers were killed in the last 24 hours, the vast majority of them coming from the ranks of the engineer corps, those tasked with blowing up these death traps, many times with booby traps waiting for them inside. Various other soldiers were injured. One of them is singer and actor Idan Amedi. His story is one that can only happen in the crazy Israeli reality. He starred in the successful TV series Fauda as a fighter in Gaza. When the war broke out, that is exactly what happened, except in real life. Amedi spent the last few weeks in Gaza as a reserve in the engineer corps and has now been severely injured. The news of his injury shocking many of his colleagues, now praying for his recovery. Yet another story of this bloody war that will be here for many months to come.